Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and salam sejahtera. In line with the Ebelajau program for Mathematics and Science Year 6 subjects under the supervision of Pejabat Pendidikan Daerah Jasin, today I'll be teaching you Mathematics subject for Year 6. Let's take a look at the first slide. Okay, so this is the example of the cover for Mathematics Year 6 textbook, DLP. And my name is Nur Kamila binti Mahadi, and I'm currently teaching English as well as Mathematics in SK Merlimau. So, for Mathematics Year 6 today, I have chosen Chapter 11 entitled Data, and I've also chosen the Condensed Standard 11.1 Data. As for the Learning Standard, 11.11 Interpret Data from Pictograph, bar chart and pie chart. So basically today we are going to learn how to interpret data from pictograph, bar chart as well as pie chart. So as we can see here, interpreting data. How are we going to interpret the data? We need to look out for these 4 key points. The first one is the title of the data. The second one is the types of items. The third one is the key represents. And last one is conclusion. Okay, so the first one here is the example of the data that have represented by pictograph. As you can see here, the title of the pictograph is Mass of Recycled Items, the first key point. And the type of items here, there are 4: newspaper, aluminium can, plastic, and others. And the third one is key represents. The key represents here is that one red circle represents 5 kilogram. So as for the conclusion, we can see the amount of each items. So how are we going to find out the amount of each items? So one red circles equal 5 kilogram. Let's take a look at newspaper. Newspaper have 5 red circles. So 5 times 5 kilogram equal to 25 kilogram. Okay, the same goes to other items, aluminium can, plastic, as well as others. We need to times the red circle with the key represents. So for aluminium can, 3.5 times 5 kilogram equal to 17.5 kilogram. As for the plastic, 0.5 times 5 kilogram equal to 2.5 kilogram. Okay, hold on. Why it is presented as 0.5? Because the red circle have been cut into half. Hence, 1 divided by 2 is 0.5. Okay, for others, 1 red circles times 5 kilogram. So others, the mass for others is 5 kilogram. So as we can see here at the bottom of the pictograph, the amount for each items have been counted using the key represents. Okay, moving on to the conclusion. How are we going to take conclusion from the pictograph represented just now? So firstly, let's take a look at the total mass of recycled materials. How are we going to find out the total mass? Firstly, we need to times all the red circles with the key represents, just like we did just now. And after we have gotten all the amount of 4 items, we need to add the amount of the recycled items, and therefore we will get the total mass of all the recycled materials. So we can see here, 25 kilogram plus 17.5 kilogram plus 2.5 kilogram plus 5 kilogram equal to 50 kilogram. Okay, the next one is, so you can see here, the mass of newspapers collected is the most, which is 25 kilogram. As we have already found out all the amount for all the items, we can make and count the differences. And we can see that newspaper have the most amount, which is 25 kilogram. Okay, the second one, the least mass of items collected is plastic, which is 2.5 kilogram. Sorry. Okay, you can see here, newspaper the most 25 kilogram, plastic is the least 2.5 kilogram. Okay, the next one, we can also conclude that the difference between the mass, okay, for the example here, the difference between the mass of aluminium cans and other material is 12.5 kilogram. How do we find out? We minus the 17.5 kilogram, the amount of aluminium can, with the amount of other items. So 17.5 kilogram minus 5.0 kilogram equal to 12.5 kilogram. Okay, that's it for pictograph. Now moving on to pie chart. Okay, pie chart is relatively different with pictograph as well as bar chart, because pie chart is represented not using the amount but using the percentage of the amount. Okay, how are we going to convert the amount to percentage? Okay, let's see here. First of all, we need to total the amount of all items. Previously, we have already totaled the items, right? So 25 kilogram plus 17.5 kilogram plus 2.5 kilogram plus 5 kilogram equal to 50 kilogram. So the total amount of all items here, of all 4 items here, is 50 kilogram. So how are we going to convert it into percentage is by times it, multiply it to 100%. So let's see the first example here, newspaper. Newspaper is 25 kilogram, right? So 25 kilogram over 50 kilogram, the total amount, times by 100, and then we'll get the answer 50%. Okay, so we are going to do that to all 3 other items. As you can see here, aluminium can, 17.5 kilogram over 50 kilogram times 100, 35%. Plastic, 2.5 kilogram over 50 kilogram times 100%, 5%. And lastly, others, 5 kilograms over 50 kilograms times 100%, the answer is 10%. So after we have gotten all the percentages for all the items, then we can put it into a pie chart. We can transfer the answer that we got it just now into a pie chart. So newspaper takes half of the pie chart because the percentage is 50%. Aluminium can takes more than half, 35%. Others take quarters, 10%. And the remaining percentages of the pie chart is for plastic, 5%. Okay, as per the conclusion for the pie chart, is that we can see here, the mass of newspapers is 25 kilogram. How do we count it? Okay, so they have already given us the total amount of all items, right? The total amount of all items is 50 kilogram. So we take out the percentages, 50 over 100 times by the total amount, 50 kilogram. So we get the answer, 25 kilogram. The same goes to other items. If we want to find out the mass of aluminium can, 35 per 100 over 100 times by 50 kilogram, and we will get the real amount for the mass of aluminium can. Okay, for the second one, the mass of newspaper and aluminium can is 42.5 kilogram. How do we count it? Okay, first of all, we add the percentages of newspaper and aluminium can. 50% plus 35%, we get the 85%, right? So 85 per 100 times by 50 kilogram, and we will get the answer, 42.5 kilogram. So the mass for newspaper and aluminium can is 42.5 kilogram. Okay, the third question. The difference between the mass of newspaper and plastic is 22.5 kilogram. How do we got the answer? Okay, the mass of newspaper is 50%. Okay, minus plastic 5%, and we will get 45%. So 45 per 100 times 50 kilogram. So we get 22.5 kilogram. So the difference between the mass of newspaper and plastic is 22.5 kilogram. It is better that if we find out all the real amount of the mass for all recycled items before we answer the other questions. I think that is all for pictograph and pie chart. So now let us test ourselves by answering this question of a pictograph. There are 3 questions here. You can take your time and answer the questions. You can also refer to the previous slides. I think that is all from me. Thank you.